10 Theological Explorations of Futuristic Ideas. Number 10 Artificial Enlightenment. Some believe that Buddhism is the religion best suited for coping with the advent of artificial intelligence. Since Buddhism doesn't necessarily prescribe a central role to the human species in its belief system, Buddhism prescribes respect for all forms of life, with some texts indicating that non-human creatures may also achieve enlightenment. Buddhist cosmology has always accepted the concept of beings existed in formless realms, which always seems a highly appropriate way of thinking about artificial intelligence. Number 9 Space Qibla. One of the largest issues facing Muslim astronauts is how to pray in the direction of Mecca, otherwise known as Qibla, while in outer space. Malaysia Space Agency Angkasa convened a conference of 150 Islamic scientists and scholars to determine an answer, and the resulting report indicates that astronauts should make their best effort directing their prayer in the following priority. Number 1, the Kaaba. Number 2, the projection of Kaaba. Number 3, the earth. Number 4, wherever. Number 8, alien baptism. When asked in 2014 if he would baptize extraterrestrials making a pilgrimage to the Vatican, Pope Francis replied, "Who are we to close doors?" After clarifying, Martians, right? Green with long noses and big ears? Like in children's drawings, he compared the situation to early conversions of pagans, also an act some considered unthinkable at that time. Number 7, Robo Minion. Number 7, Robot Minion. Rabbi Mark Goldfeder has declared that any self-aware robot or artificial intelligence created by a Jewish person would, by the laws of parentage, also be classified as Jewish. This would mean that a robot could theoretically participate in any group prayer. He bases this on human evolution, as in primeval times, the line between human and non-human was not clear-cut. He also cites the presence of creatures like mermaids, centaurs and golems in rabbinic literature. Number 6. Time travel and scripture. Some Islamic thinkers deny the possibility of time travel on a Quranic basis. And if I knew the unseen, I could have acquired much wealth and no harm would have touched me. The concept also appears in Surat Luqman 31:34. And no soul perceives what it'll earn tomorrow, and no soul perceives in what land it'll die. Indeed, Allah is knowing and acquainted. In other words, as only Allah may know the future, humans may not travel there. Number 5. Hindu Multiverse. The modern concept of a multiverse is derived from quantum physics and string theory. And there are a variety of plausible scientific theories backing up the possibility of parallel worlds. However, the concept is much more older, dating to the earliest days of Hinduism. The cosmological concepts in Hinduism are already in a position to readily comprehend and accept modern physics due to their sheer scale in time and space. Number 4. The soul and teleportation. While it would be amazing to hop into a teleporter and be immediately beamed to anywhere you wanted to go, the journey necessarily entails some hair-raising, existential and theological questions that may just encourage you to take the bus instead. The model of quantum teleportation requires the original matter being teleported to be destroyed before being transmitted into a new location and reconstituted. Number 3. Technognosis. In Gnostic cosmology, man is a spiritual being who once inhabited a world of light but was then trapped into a fallen material world by a malevolent being known as the Demiurge. The faith was characterized by its rejection of the world and a fundamental sense of alienation. Number 2. Robot Animism. Japan has a culture and society highly accepting of robotics, from the beloved post-war icon Astro Boy to mechanized baseball players. Some see this as a natural response in a country with a low birth rate, a shrinking population, and a cultural homogeneity unreceptive to immigration. Still, others see this acceptance of robotics as being rooted in the animist traditions of the Shinto religion. Number 1. The Tao of Ed. Taoist master and blogger Mark Josie of the Tin Liat lineage school has speculated on the Taoist perspective of extraterrestrial life. He sees the issue from a cosmological point of view, dividing the universe into two halves: pre-heaven, things existing outside of the material world, and post-heaven, everything we can perceive, touch, or interact with. He also ties in the concept of parallel worlds, but in a unique fashion. Each planet may have its own form of life, but they are kept separate and unable to interact in order to maintain cosmic harmony.